everyone, it's Sandy and today I am filming my January book haul. I actually didn't buy many books in January, but I also wanted to include all of the books that I have checked out from the library in January. Some of them I have already returned because the due date passed, but these are the books that I currently have checked out, so I wanted to include that in my book haul as well. I only bought 2 books in January, and the first one is Wayfarer by Alexandra Bracken. This is the second and final book in the Passenger duology. I have a review on the first book which I will link down below, but basically Passenger follows Etta, who discovers that she is a time traveler. She's basically blackmailed to go on this scavenger hunt through time to find this object that has been missing that her mother has stolen. The last book that I actually bought is History Is All You Left Me by Adam Silvera. I already read it and I loved it, and I have a full book review on it, so if you want to hear more of my thoughts, I will leave a link down below. This book follows Griffin, whose ex-boyfriend Theo has passed away in a drowning accident. Throughout this book, Griffin mourns Theo's death, and he's also struggling with his worsening OCD. Fantastic book. Definitely check it out if you haven't read it already. The next book that I'm going to haul is one that I'm going to unwrap because it's a mystery book. This book was sent to me from Rebecca, and she has a booktube channel called The World of Books. She also has this Etsy shop where she does like blind book dates. I've never bought one of those blind book dates before, so I'm really excited to open this package that she sent me. Her Etsy shop is called Becca's Little Boutique, and I will leave a link to everything down below in the description box. In the package, she also included this tea bag, and it's chai tea. This paper right here is a coupon for my next purchase, and this is the package that she sent me and wrapped up. I love this like crochet type of thing. I don't know if that's the proper word, but we'll go with it. But it's wrapped up really cute in a bow, and there's a quote right here that says, "In the midst of life, we are in death." With Rebecca's Etsy shop, you can pick a genre, and Rebecca will find a book to send to you that fits that genre, and the genre that I selected is mystery. So I'm going to go ahead and finally open it. I'm gonna keep this crochet type of thing. I don't know what I would do with it. There you go. But it's cute. I'm going to finally rip this open. I don't want to look at it, what it is yet, but don't know what it is. But on the back it says, "One of us in this very room is in fact the murderer." So that sounds awesome. And what is it? Oh my gosh, it's an Agatha Christie book. And Then There Were None. Okay, I'm so excited. I've heard Joss from Squibbles Read talk about Agatha Christie quite a few times on her channel, and she seems to really enjoy her books. I have not read an Agatha Christie book yet. I have seen one of her plays, which is called The Mousetrap. I watched it when I was in high school. I went on a field trip with my AP English class, and I really enjoyed watching that play. I'm really happy with the book that I got. I cannot wait to read this book. So this book is basically about a group of people on an island being slowly killed off. On the inside flap, it's blurred by Gillian Flynn, who is the author of Gone Girl, which I also really enjoyed. So I cannot wait to read this book. Thank you so much, Rebecca, for sending this to me. If you guys are interested in looking at her shop, I will leave a link down below. Definitely check it out. The next 3 books are books that I got from Quarterly. I was sent one of their past boxes. I already filmed an unboxing of it, so I will leave a link down below to that video, but I'm just going to quickly mention the books that I got from that box. And the first one is The Diabolic by S.J. Kincaid. This is the main book that was in the box because the author is the one that curated the entire box. I said box like 10 times in the past 30 seconds. This is a sci-fi book about this girl named Nemesis who is supposed to protect this other girl, and in order to protect this girl, she ends up masquerading as her, and she's now like involved in a bunch of court politics. The next book in Quarterly is The Scorpion Rule by Erin Bow. This book takes place in the future where there is peace. Basically, if you're a ruler, you have to give one of your children as hostage to a different country, and if you end up going to war, the child that you put up as hostage ends up dying. This book follows Greta, and I'm assuming that she is one of the hostage because it says that she's a princess. This book sounds really interesting, and I haven't heard many people talk about it. And the last book in Quarterly is Unwind by Neil Shusterman. In this book, parents can have their child unwound, which basically means that the organs of their child is transplanted into another person's body, so technically their child's life doesn't end. This book follows 3 teenagers who are facing this procedure. I read this a really long time ago, so I don't really remember what happened. Now I'm going to go into all of the library books that I currently have checked out. I have quite a handful of them. A lot of the books that I read in January were from the library. So the first one is Something in Between by Melissa De La Cruz. This book follows Jasmine, and she and her parents are from the Philippines. She has been awarded this full ride scholarship, but she later finds out from her parents that she's undocumented undocumented, so she doesn't have a green card and she's unable to accept the scholarship, which is basically the only way for her to afford to go to college. Next is Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Abertally. This book follows Simon, who is not openly gay, and he has been emailing with another person named Blue. Blue is a person that goes to his school, but he doesn't know who Blue is, and Blue doesn't really know who Simon is either. One day, one of Simon's classmates ends up coming across one of Simon's emails because he forgot to log out of a computer. This kid named Martin has a crush on one of his good friends named Abby. Martin ends up kind of blackmailing Simon to get Abby to go out with him. The next book that I have checked out is The Female of the Species by Mindy McGinnis. This book follows 3 teenagers. One is Alex, and her sister has been murdered 3 years ago, but the killer of her sister was set free. The second person is named Jack. He's basically the valedictorian. He's a popular guy. And the last person that it follows is PK, and she is the preacher's kid. I know that this isn't my wrap-up, but I do highly recommend that you check out this book. It's so important, and it brings rape culture to surface. Definitely check this book out if you haven't already. The next book that I have checked out is Tiny Pretty Things by Sona Kyra Potra and Danielle Clayton. This book follows 3 girls who attend an elite Manhattan ballet school, and I've heard that there's lots of drama, but I also heard that there's diversity in it as well, so that's definitely the main reason that I decided to pick this book up. The next book that I picked up is Whisper by Christy Keegery. The back of this book doesn't say much about the plot, but it does say that the main character is deaf, and that's one of the reasons why I picked this book up. This is on my Diversity Bingo TBR. A lot of the library books that I've checked out are books that I checked out for Diversity Bingo. If you haven't seen my TBR video yet, I will leave a link down below. I talk about a lot of wonderful diverse books that I am so excited to read. The next book that I checked out is Made You Up by Francesca Zappia. I don't know too much about this book. The inside flap really doesn't say much. It's basically a conversation, but I do know that the main character in this book has schizophrenia, and I've heard wonderful things about this book from Emma, aka Emma Books. The next book that I checked out is Codename Verity by Elizabeth Wayne. Jane from It's Jane Lindsay actually recommended this book to me. She's hosting this type of readathon in February where you read feminist books. I'm participating, so this is a book that I hope to read in February. I don't know too much about this book aside from the fact that it takes place in 1943, so during World War II. Our main character is kind of like a spy, and the plane that she was on crashes in this Nazi-occupied area, and now she's facing this interrogation by the Nazis. I cannot wait to read this book, especially since it was recommended to me by Jane. The next book that I checked out is Jane Steele by Lindsay Faye. I'm also planning on reading this book for the Feminist Readathon in February. This book is basically a reimagining of Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, but our main character is a serial killer, which sounds awesome. Again, I've heard wonderful things about this book from Joss. This is one of her favorite books in 2016. You know that whatever Joss really loves, you definitely have to check out. I'm actually currently reading this book. I'm about 50 pages in, so I'm not too far in, but I can't wait to see what happens. And the last book in this haul is Homegoing by Ya Jessie. Again, I've heard wonderful things about this book from Joss. Joss just gives me so many book recommendations. This book follows 2 half-sisters in Ghana, and they end up being separated, and the story is basically like telling the story of them and the generations that come after them. It sounds very interesting, and I cannot wait to read it. Those are all the books that I'm hauling for my January book haul. If you read any of these books, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye!